Hare Krishna Guru. So like Srila Prabhupada has created different identity in that institution. Like, different identities Prabhupada has created.
Role play.
Different role plays Prabhupada has created. So there are devotee role play that he's good devotee, he's more surrendered devotee, and he goes and take up that role play. So when we relate with that role play plus devotee, so how do we relate? We relate with that identity, with that role play, or do we relate with that devotee who can be more surrendered, who have more desire to serve Srila Prabhupada, who can be more purified? How do we relate? With that role play or with that consciousness of the devotee?
No. What role play? To play role, you have to have consciousness. So in what consciousness? When you role play, when you play that it is me, that's not called role play. When you role play means you role play for a purpose. You role play for the sake of the role play identity, then you are gone. Then it is called false ego, because you are thinking that you are role play. When you role play for the sake of somebody else, that means the role play is a servant. I am serving Prabhupada. So that is what I said. It is a role play identities are secondary identities. We need to have a primary identity. What is your primary identity? Your primary identity is I am servant of Krishna. So that is very prominent. Role play identity, within a day, 10 role plays you will have. Isn't that? When you are with the ashram devotee next to you, you have one role play. When you go and meet your authority, you have another role play. When you go out and preach to somebody, you have another role play. Is it not? You have to change your role play, otherwise you will be frozen, you cannot function. If you go out to preach to somebody, if you talk to him like another brahmachari in the ashram, can you do your service? You cannot. Immediately you have to adopt your role play. So many role plays within a day we adopt. Is it not? Behind all that, we need to have the role, the eternal identity as servant of Krishna. That is you. That is real ego. When role play identities become ego, that is false ego. So, now, your question. Devotee is completely forgetful of everything and simply they are in the role play. That I am that. That is not good. It will have a reaction in the material plane. It's not pure devotional service. So you can always see when you associate devotees, we are seeing each other as servants of Prabhupada and Krishna. So we associate devotees not with their role play. Role plays are also functional. We associate with them as servant of Krishna. And suppose that devotee is engaged in sense gratification. Then obviously you know that he is stuck in a role play misidentification. He cannot respect that ego. That ego is stuck. His sense gratification is not. It's already bonded now, thinking that I am separate from Krishna. So your ego is trapped in the role play identity. You need to be liberated. So we learn how to see the discrimination when we see devotees gradually. First is we deal with ourselves. This is a laboratory. Here you see how you take identities and where is, we simply think that I am that. When you say I am that, you get very hurt. Somebody says something. So today you have one service, they take you out from one service and put you in another service. You completely devastated. Why? Because you thought your eternal identity has come from being temple president. When you remove you move out to another role, everything is finished. But if you know, I have solid, I am servant of Krishna, that nobody can take away from me. No authority can take away from me. What is that? That service nobody can take away. What is that? Being servant of Krishna, nobody can take away if I decide. They can say, be this kind of servant, that kind of servant, no problem. I'm servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. No problem. As long as I am servant of Krishna. Don't tell me to do anything else. Servant of Krishna, you tell me I am your servant.